Thank you and welcome everybody. I'd like to welcome to the stage the Rwanda ICT Minister. She has been spearheading efforts in the country towards bridging the digital divide, and she has done a phenomenal job in doing so. The GSMA is extremely proud and thankful for the efforts that she has made in what we see today. We are witnessing the work of the power of technology here today. We thank you very much, all, and we say, ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Minister Paula Ingabire.
Over the next 3 days, we gather here to assess and recommit to our collective responsibility to deliver an inclusive, secure, and sustainable future for our people. We've always had strong themes for Mobile World Congress Africa and Mobile World Congress at large, but I'm sure that this year's themes resonate much more strongly to all of us present as they are urgent and current issues that we are grappling with today. We'll be discussing largely what it's going to take for all of us in our different capacities to close the mobile internet usage gap. We'll look at how we can leverage digital technologies to build climate-resilient economies, but also through the Policy Leaders Forum, where we'll challenge ourselves to put in place forward-looking and enabling policies. As we launch multiple reports today and during the course of the week, what we're going to see is shocking statistics that we're leaving a large part and half of Africa behind. And I hope that for the next 3 days, we will not only focus on possibilities, but rather channel the shock into action. Imagine an Africa where half of our people are left behind as the world moves strongly into the digital future, building digital economies that benefit them. Imagine an Africa becoming less competitive as we fail to work together to solve for the challenges facing us on the path to prosperity in our collective digital future. This is the Africa we cannot be in tomorrow. We need to work together hand in hand within our national boundaries, our regional cooperation initiatives, and within our global cooperation frameworks as well.
Please welcome to the stage Granryd, the GSMA's Director General. Thank you.
Your Excellency, honorable ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very warm welcome to the first ever MWC in Africa. You know what? I think that is worthy an applaud. It is such an honor to be here with you today, and thank you, Your Excellency, for your kind invitation and hosting us here this week. Together, we need to make sure that we're working towards building a better and more resilient future for everyone. That means that leaving no one, and I mean no one, behind, as Paula Ingabire said. It is a big responsibility, no doubt, but it's also a wonderful privilege. Over the past 2 decades, mobile growth across sub-Saharan Africa has been absolutely phenomenal. By the end of last year, there were more than 500 million subscribing to mobile services, and that's roughly 46% of the population. By 2025, that number will grow to 600 million subscribers. To 600 million subscribers. And we have a big impact on the economy as well. Now, globally, the mobile industry contributes some 5% to the global GDP, and that's $4.5 trillion US. If we would be a country, we would be just after Japan, but well before Germany. So we would be the 4th largest country in the world. It's quite a substantial amount of money. In sub-Saharan Africa, the mobile technology contributes some 8% to the local GDP, which is almost $140 billion US in 2021. And that is expected to grow to $150 billion by 2025. Huge economic impact. Add to this that the mobile ecosystem supports roughly 3.2 million jobs directly and indirectly. So the impact is clear, and there is much, much more room for growth and investments. Africa stands at a unique moment in time. Over the past 2 decades, we have seen, maybe more clearly than anywhere else in the world, the true transformational power of mobile connectivity. Today, 46% of the population is connected, and by 2025, 50% will be connected. Imagine what Africa will look like when everyone is connected. And so back to this room, back to the leaders in this room. As you walk around MWC Africa this week, ask yourself, what goals are you setting? What innovations are you dreaming of? What partnerships are you building that will unleash the true transformational power of connectivity across Africa and build a better future that will truly benefit us all? Thank you so much, and warm welcome to MWC Africa. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Rwanda has been in the forefront of prioritizing and driving digital transformation and acceleration of all its citizens. And leading the way has been His Excellency President, His Excellency Paul Kagame, President of the Republic of Rwanda. So it is my great honor to welcome His Excellency on stage. Your Excellency, please welcome.
Mass Director General of GSMA, senior officials and business leaders, members of the diplomatic corps, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's a real pleasure to be joining you for the opening of the first in-person Mobile World Congress Africa. I welcome you all to Rwanda. We are very pleased to host you. I wish to thank GSMA for choosing our country as the venue for this year's conference. Digital technologies are a catalytic force for development in Africa. Yet, almost half of adults in low and middle income countries do not have access to the internet, even when living in areas with broadband coverage. Digital infrastructure is key, but it's not enough. To leverage the potential of connectivity, investments in digital skills and literacy must be integrated in our national policies. In Rwanda, with the support of the private sector, Kigali Innovation City aims to develop a competitive and productive workforce and conducive environment for startups. Africa is home to creative and tech-savvy youth looking for the right platform to contribute solutions. We cannot afford to reduce them to a statistic only or sit idle by as they seek opportunity outside of Africa. Our young people have a lot to offer. We must do our part and keep our promise to them. Significant strides have been made on the continent to accelerate the digital transformation through initiatives spearheaded by the African Union and Smart Africa, among others. However, to leave no one behind, we must create a more enabling legal and regulatory environment. However, to leave no one behind means a number of things as well, and we must recognize that digital transformation is not a zero-sum game where progress must come at the expense of the most vulnerable. Not at all. Everyone, regardless of status, gender, or nationality, must benefit if we want to create lasting change. Universal and meaningful connectivity for all can be a springboard for the full implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area. This is less about leapfrogging legacy systems and more about digitizing faster and taking full ownership in building the Africa we want, because we can, all of us together. Everywhere in the world, emerging technologies are shaping our economic future, as well as the conditions for peace and security. To speed up prosperity, technology has to go hand in hand with good governance. I trust that you will take this message with you throughout the conference. Once again, welcome to Rwanda. I wish you a very productive meeting and a pleasant stay in our country. I thank you for your kind attention.
Well, thank you very much, Your Excellency. That was very inspiring. This is not the first time you're giving a speech.
Certainly not.
So I was thinking about talking around your leadership, positioning Rwanda as one of the spearheading nations in East Africa, and possibly in the globe. If we talk about the usage gap, the connectivity that still needs to be done, I know that Rwanda is the first in East African, is regarded as the first in East African community on network readiness and fifth in Africa. Good 4G LTE coverage. We have 3 major broadband pipes in Rwanda. If you could take us through what are the key learnings in achieving that? That would sort of be the coverage gap a bit.
Well, first of all, we have to think of investing in a number of things. One is the human capital has to be developed. We have to invest in digital infrastructure and connectivity as well, and make a deliberate effort to forge even these partnerships that will actually bridge that usage gap. Because as earlier said by somebody, none in the private sector or in public sector or any country has all that is required to cover this. So the partnerships have to be deliberate. And then we have to go to the very people, and again, the 2 young previous speakers mentioned this. How do you draw in deliberately the very people, give them the skills, the literacy that is required, and also around that there will be a purpose for them to really be attracted to what you are doing with them. So the message has to be constant, has to be clear, and that is how we have been going about it, and again with the wider partnerships, as I mentioned.
So partnerships is clearly, and I think our previous speaker spoke also around the public-private partnership, how important that is. And I guess, now I'm asking you a question again around the usage gap, I guess that's one of the key activities that we should address when trying to bridge the usage gap. Would that be fair?
That would be, I mean, that is the meaning of it. That's how it happens. That's what we have to address. Otherwise, if you don't address it that way, you may make good investments, but that will not translate into solutions for the millions or billions of people who have to utilize this to improve their lives and transform their lives.
And I think I tried to explain the enablement effect, that mobile connectivity is just enabling other businesses to thrive. And I think you described that. And I think that's why the public-private partnership is equally important, because it affects the whole of society. It affects me as a person, it affects my business. So it is really a positive cycle that we can start to see emerge.
It really creates the whole ecosystem that is required for the transformation of society and for people to thrive. One thing leads to another, and once you have touched the different aspects of this problem, then you start beginning to see people interested, people getting to use the digital tools that are before them.
And if I may ask, where do you see the next steps? Imagine us being now at 2025, 600 million people are connected in Africa. 2027 might be 700 million, etc. What is more required now to make that happen?
You know, we have to, as you see across the continent, you see that the leaders, the political leaders of countries, the companies are saying about the same thing that is right to say. What follows and should follow is now to do the right thing, connecting with saying the right thing. And you see across Africa the efforts being applied. The message has to be accompanied with real actions that people have to see take place, and therefore be able to see the results that they can also be measured. I see that people across Africa and beyond are beginning to understand that it's not enough to just have the digital infrastructure. As we have learned that just last year alone, about 1 billion people lived in proximity to broadband network, but were actually not using the internet. So the message has to be that of linking up things in a logical manner that gives you the results you want. You make investments in infrastructure, and you, like we are trying to do in our country here, I'm sure other countries are doing it or even better, train people, give them the digital literacy that is required so that they are able to now utilize the digital infrastructure that has been invested in, and then stop that phenomenon where so many are living near the infrastructure but are not making good use of it. So there has to be always a message of trying to link up things so that they work to the benefit of our society.
No, it makes a lot of sense what Your Excellency is saying, making sure that we take action of our words to make it actually happen. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for hosting us here. Thank you so much for inviting us to beautiful Kigali. And I hope that we will have the opportunity to come back many more times.
Anytime, you're all welcome.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say, don't be compelled to go back home immediately after the conference. You can stay for as long as you wish after that.
All right, thank you.